Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, happy birthday! Happy birthday to you!
Well, that's the sound of the Prestali Singers wishing Daily Dose Radio a happy birthday. Happy birthday to Daily Dose Radio. 6 years podcasting verse by verse. This time next week we'll be starting off on our 7th year of podcasting verse by verse, but this is year 6 celebration. Daily Dose Radio is today looking at Psalm 88, verses 8 through 10. Now, we've already seen how this particular psalm is a psalm, well, really, it's characterized best, I think, in verse 3, where Heman says, "My soul is full of troubles." We all can identify with that in one way or another, whether it's disease of the body, disease of the mind, or disease of the soul. All of those are soulish. We feel them. They affect us. And so that affection is something that, kind of weighs on us. He actually says there in verse 7, "Thy wrath lieth hard upon me." We felt that press, haven't we, of trouble. And let's not get caught up and distracted whether or not the Lord's doing this to him or not, okay? Because the point here is whether the Lord is doing it or not, and the Lord has a right to do that, but whether he's doing it or not, our job is to go to him and ask him for release. There's no other place to go. Where else are you going to go? What other help are you going to find? So this prayer is about soul trouble and about the only cure or remedy for soul trouble, because without it, well, we have the pit in view, the grave. That's our theme. I'm going down to the grave. The pit, the grave, the dead, the deeps, the darkness, all of that. So today we look at verses 8, 9, and 10. We're going to kind of repeat some of the very same things that we've had up to this point. So look at verse 8. This continues what God is doing. 6 began it. You've laid me in the lowest pit. Thy wrath lies upon me. Verse 7. Verse 8. Thou hast put away mine acquaintance far from me. Thou hast made me an abomination unto them. I am shut up, and I cannot come forth. My eyes mourneth by reason of affliction. Lord, I have called daily upon thee. I have stretched out my hands unto thee. Wilt thou show wonders to the dead? Shall the dead arise and praise thee? Selah. There's our second Selah. We had a Selah there at the end of verse 7, and then here we have one again at the end of verse 10. So a hard break. Now notice, thou hast put away mine acquaintances. Whatever it was that he was afflicted with, people weren't coming around. So this must have been bad. You have made me an abomination unto them. So perhaps it was some kind of a leprosy or some disease that people weren't going to draw near to him because of it. And he says, I am shut up and I cannot come forth. That's pretty bad. But I tell you what, this is not unlike what we experience when we're ill. People don't want to come around you when you're sick. You shouldn't be going out if you have a fever or if you have something communicable, and that's just not something you want to share with folks. And so we have to sojourn by ourselves. And for some of us, being alone even for a few minutes is a very hard thing to do. So you can feel the suffering of the psalmist here. Mine eyes mourn by reason of affliction. So we go back to the idea of affliction again. His soul is full of trouble. Now he calls on the Lord. He says, Lord, I've called day and night upon thee. I've stretched out my hands unto thee. And then we have this question. Wilt thou show wonders to the dead? Shall the dead arise and praise thee? Now here's the beginning of 8 questions that the psalmist asks in this psalm. And of course, the answer to that is, well, no, you're not going to show wonders to the dead. Or is it, yes, you are going to show wonders to the dead? Well, why don't we wait on answering that until tomorrow, and we'll pick up and read verses 11 through 14 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.